Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir-Rahim. Malik Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghayril maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Hi, what is up, my squad member, my tribe members, my family? Listen, I love you guys. I am really hoping that over the last 2 weeks, I'm hoping that some of you guys were really piped in and understood what was going on. All of that distraction going on out there was a clear indication that we needed to go in here. I'm sure my tribe members picked up what was going down over the last 2 weeks. Now, granted, cosmically, we still got about another week and a half of all that high intensity energy that will probably cause some distractions in the media and keep everybody, looking outward instead of looking inward. So I'm telling my tribe members here today, don't be discouraged. Don't be distracted. This next week and a half or so is a real good time to pipe inward, okay? So I'm hoping that for my family. The other thing I wanted to talk about is that, listen, 8 of you people on here, my tribe members, shared my last video. Now, when you share it, the only thing about that is I don't know who's sharing. So you know how I think, I'm like, well, energy should be reciprocal, right? If people are pouring out, I need to be pouring back in. If you were pouring out, I want to pour back in. That's how it should go, right? So when you are sharing it, that means you are pouring into me. And I want to pour back into you by saying thank you. But I don't know who shared it. So when you're sharing it, if you could do me a favor and put it in the comments, I'm a tribe member and I'm rocking with you, I shared it. I'm a tribe member and I'm rocking with you, I shared it. I rocks with this channel, I shared it. So that I know, so I can thank you, so I can send you lightning bolts of energy of thanking you. A thank you has a vibration to it. That gratitude, that thank you, when you give that to someone, that's light. So I want to be able to give light your way, especially if you are sending light to me. So thank all 8 of you who I don't know who shared my last video. I appreciate you for real. I also want to thank some new tribe members. I want to thank those who send me emails. And let's go ahead and do that before we jump into today's video. Go ahead, run that. Hey. My tribe is thick. My tribe is thick. Oh, we running deep. We running deep. Ay, my tribe is thick. My tribe is thick. Oh, we running deep. We running deep. Ay, my tribe is thick. My tribe is thick. We running deep. Ay, we running deep. Oh, my tribe is thick. My tribe is thick. We running deep. We running deep. Listen, you guys. 400 and I think 17 of us. 417 of us here on this channel. Now listen, don't get it twisted by thinking that I know we are 417 people deep. That's a lot of people. Think about it. Imagine 415 or 417 people showed up to your event, or 417 people showed at your front door or in your store. That's a lot of people. And I don't take it lightly. And I don't want you guys to think that, oh, we're such a small channel here. Oh no, baby. We are having a huge impact. I know that we are having a huge impact, and we're going to continue the work. We're going to continue the work. We are refining the culture. We are setting a new standard, and we are coming with some heat. So if you are a tribe member, you know the book already, because you know we're going deep here. The Return of the Divine Feminine. Wait. Before I even get into today's video, let me say this. I wanted to explain this last video, but I forgot. I know you guys noticed that my intros are a little loud. They are a little, sometimes I'm rapping, sometimes I'm singing, sometimes I'm feeling, sometimes I'm praying, whatever. I do my intros like that because I want you guys to know a little bit about me, who I am outside of my teaching. And that's because once I get into my teacher role, once that elder energy starts to come up, I'm kind of removed from those things and I'm in that zone. And so I don't want you guys to just completely see me as an elder here on this channel, chief elder here on this channel, but I want you guys to know that outside of that, I'm still a woman. I'm very much a woman. Oh my God, I'm very much a woman. I'm very much a black woman. I'm very much, you see it. Everywhere I go, you see something on me at some point. You see Sarah Vaughn right there. You see the fist on my body somewhere. I don't know if you guys can see that. There's always something. I'm going to always let you know who I am before I even open my mouth. So yeah, that's who I am. So when I'm doing my intros, that's me allowing people to see me as a human being, as a woman, not just as a teacher. And I know you guys can relate to me. I don't know if you've ever one second. I always do that, right? I don't know if you guys can relate to when the first time you seen your actual teacher, like your math teacher or your science teacher, out at the supermarket, and you're like, wait a minute. Mrs. So-and-so wears shorts. Mrs. So-and-so wears a skirt. Mrs. So-and-so drinks. Mrs. So-and-so goes to the club. They like music. That's because we're unable to, it's very important for us to understand that we can't see people as in two forms, right? Because just we can't. And one of my associates, this was a while back, I was running a manufacturing plant, and one of my associates was a DJ on the weekends, and he would come in. He always liked to talk. He'd be like, can I tell you something? Or he'll talk real deep for a moment before he goes to his post. But one day he came in and he said, I wanted to say that I think you were right about something, but I want to add that I don't think people can take people as two ways. Meaning, if I know you to be a Buddhist, I can't take you as a Muslim. Or if I know you to be one way, it's hard for me to see you another way, because I think once we ping someone as who they are, our brain will always see them as that. And I'll never forget that conversation. I wish I remembered his name, and shout out to you, young man. I hope you were doing well. But and we had a real great conversation. It was about a 5-second conversation, but it seemed like forever because it stays with me. But it's true that people have a hard time seeing people as multifaceted. We have a very hard time as seeing people as multi-layered. It's a human behavior to see people as one way, just like we see our teachers. We see Mrs. Jackson as one way because we know Mrs. Jackson to be a teacher. And so that's why when I'm doing my videos, I want to put a little bit of my personality at the beginning, or a little bit of myself at the beginning, so that you know that once I get into my teacher role, at the end of all of that, I'm still a woman. I'm still human. I still love music. I still love to dance. I still pray. I have a heritage. I come from someplace. And I want you guys to be able to see that outside of me teaching, outside of me being an author, outside of me being a speaker, and all that other stuff. I'm still Karima Hassan Muhammad. Okay? You see it. You're going to always see it. But I want you guys to see that at the beginning of my videos. Now, this video that I did today, I started it with a Islamic prayer in Arabic. And the reason why I put that there is because that gives you an indication of where I come from. That's that stuff, that's all that stuff that precedes you, makes you who you are. And I'm always in debt to that part of me, that part of who I am, that part of where I come from. In my book, I'm not sure if you bought the Brown Girl's Book of Etiquette, but in that book I indicate it's like 2 pages about me talking about how I believe that Islam set the foundation for where I am and where I'm going, and so I'll always pay homage to that part of who I am, that part of me. It makes me Karima Hassana. That makes me who I am. Okay, so now today, if you don't have your books, go on grab it. The Return of the Divine Feminine. Today we are going to be talking about one of the four winds of femininity, okay? And we're talking about one of the four winds of femininity because I actually briefly touched on it on the last video. Last video I talked about intuition and I talked about diplomacy, but I didn't go deep into it. I didn't go deep. In today's video, I want to just touch on it or go a little bit deeper. And I'm hoping that you guys have your books, okay? Get your books out, and I want you to go. I be flicking. I like to flick through the pages, even though I know where I'm supposed to be going. I like to flip through. I want you guys to page 46 and 47. Okay, it should look like this. Can you guys see that? All right. The four winds of femininity. Okay, we are on page 46 and 47. And I want to go deeper into my theory of the four winds of femininity and how you can apply that and make it practical. And then, of course, I'm going to give you a little bit of movie clips or somewhere in here so I can teach you what it actually looks like, right? So, the four winds of femininity: intuition, diplomacy, instincts, and sensuality. When I'm talking about intuition, we're talking about having clarity, being able to see things clearly. Perception, being able to perceive things. Prophetic dreams, self-trust, foresight, being able to see foresight, understanding of what you actually just saw, right? Those kind of things. And anticipation, anticipating what you already to know to be true, because that intuitive nature allows you to do that. That's actually that's why I call the book The Return of the Divine Feminine. Those are divine characteristics. God gave those to us naturally, okay? When we are connected and when we are tapped in, we are tuned in, when we are locked in, when we are healed, when we are being completely ourselves, we'll find that intuition heightens naturally, because there's nothing blocking our God-given talent, right? Our God-given gifts. But when we need work, and this is what you find in the book, it'll tell you, it'll say what the actual characteristic is, okay? The four winds of femininity. It'll show you what it is when you're operating in your highest form, right? And then it'll tell you when you need work, so that you can identify whether or not you're operating completely out of your feminine space, or whether or not you need to work on a few things, okay? Now, when we're talking about intuition, when it needs work, it's confusion. It's uncertainty. It's when we're not really sure about a thing, or we're confused, okay? Skepticism, going into things feeling like, I don't trust that. Wait a minute. Distrust, hindsight, meaning seeing things after it's already happened versus being able to see things before it happens, okay? Assumption, assuming things, but assuming with there's no real understanding, or there's no real foresight in that. You're just assuming what it is based on what you are projecting, okay? And the next one is projection, okay? Doubt and fear. If you're experiencing doubt, if you're experiencing fear, if you're experiencing confusion, if you are feeling like you are unsure about a thing, you're skeptic all the time, or you're feeling like, that pessimistic energy, that, well, things don't always turn out right, so I look at things from a worst case scenario perspective. If you're looking at things from a worst case scenario perspective, understand that you are vibrating at a lower frequency, and that is not going to help you move forward into your feminine space. When you're moving forward into your feminine space, there's a sense of understanding there. There's a surety there. There is clarity there. You see how it says clarity? Clarity, understanding, self-trust, trusting yourself. When I am at my most feminine, I trust myself before anyone else. Before anyone can tell me the sky is blue, I'm like, Karima, is that sky blue? I check myself, have my own self-understanding. That's when I'm at my best. I am most attractive when I am seated and when I am coming from that space. I am less attractive when I am seeing the world from a worst case scenario perspective. I'm less attractive when I am seeing things from a glass half empty perspective. I am less attractive when I am uncertain, when I am confused, when I am, full of doubt. Now, don't get me wrong. It does not mean that you're not going to experience these things, because these things are natural. But that is a way that when you're experiencing that, when you're doing your self-inventory, you can actually self-correct, okay? So when you're experiencing self-doubt, self-correct. When you're experiencing, skepticism, self-correct. And say to yourself, oh, this is letting me know that I need to focus on, getting back into a feminine space. Focus back to getting into who I am as God has made me as a woman, okay? Now, the next one is diplomacy. And I talked about this in the last video. I talked about diplomacy being the way you see things, manners, your politeness, your tact, sophistication, effective communication, being considerate, and being able to compromise. I need to get a new chair, y'all. Okay, so being able to compromise. A lot of people assume that compromising means that you are losing part of yourself in compromising, and so people are less likely to compromise because they feel like if there's nothing in it for me, then why would I even do it? Like why would I even do that? But from a feminine space, okay, let me put the book down for a second so I can get deep for a moment. From it, when you are operating completely in your feminine, you understand that those that you love, when you give to them, you essentially are giving to yourself. So you never lose out on a thing, especially when you are loving someone, or you are operating out of that, that space. Think about it like this. When a mother is loving her child, there is a unconditional love that is unmatched. You'll never find that in any other relationship, right? That kind of love that a mother gives a child. It compromises all the time. It sacrifices all the time. And it's not even a thought. It happens quite naturally. So there's an energy that operates out of that space, that kind of giving, giving is an unlimited amount of giving. And if we can take just a quarter of that energy and apply it to compromising with those that we love, and those that we respect and admire, and when we understand that the goal is always in most cases bigger than who we are individually, but who we can be collectively, that allows you to speak from a feminine place, being able to compromise. So I know there's a lot of people who believe I'm not compromising anything. I'm not giving up anything. Well, that is from a selfish perspective. Not being able to compromise, not being considerate, not being able to think about how would this work for the collective versus from the individual. Working from the individual perspective, that is going to put you on the opposite side of diplomacy. Okay? And remember what I said in the book, it shows you whether or not you're operating completely or whether or not you need work. When you need work, it results in rudeness, selfishness, tactless ignorance, ineffective communication, inconsiderate, intransigence. Those things are describing a space in a place, right? When you are operating in selfishness, that's an individual feeling, right? And you can't be in a relationship loving from an individual space. You can only be in a very healthy relationship and I'm not talking about just man and woman. We're not talking about just that. We're talking about business relationship, friendships. We're talking about all those things. When it's collectively, when it's a collective give and take. Now, of course, you might argue that I'm not going to give someone, you know, I'm not going to compromise with someone who's unwilling to compromise. Well, that's something different. We're talking about when you are operating out of your feminine, when you're operating out of that, even if it's in a conversation, you're pouring out understanding that all parties involved are going to get something. And if I am giving something to someone who's a divine reflection of who I am, essentially what I am doing is I'm just still feeding myself. I never lose out. I hope that's not too deep. Let me see if I can articulate that another way. It's as if you understand that you're going to always get back what you give out. I think that did it. I think you understand me there. All right. So the next foreword of femininity is instincts. Okay, your instincts to when you tap into your instincts. Let me tell you a story. I have a story. I was mentoring a young lady a couple of years ago, and she knew of a circumstance. She was at a job, and she, for some reason, thought to call out that day. When she thought to call out that day, she said she just thought, I need to call out for this day. And just by chance, she decided to call a local staffing agency. She decided to call a local staffing agency who had a permanent position available, a permanent placement position. So, make a long story short, she even actually ended up setting the interview for that. Went to work the next day, went into the office, and she was terminated. It was her instincts that caused her to make a phone call and to call out the day before and set herself up something. She didn't miss out on anything because her instincts kicked in. It was the intuition that caused the instinct. So you see how it works hand to hand? So this young lady didn't miss a beat. She didn't miss a beat because her intuition gave her the knowledge, but her instincts told her to act, and she acted out of that knowing, that inner knowing. She acted. She made the phone call. She called out. She made an action happen, and it was beneficial for her. So that instinct, it was responsiveness. Okay, this is what the book is saying. Instinct is responsiveness, responding to what you know to be a thing, responding, spontaneity. That spontaneity of, I need to call out today. That was not planned. It was spontaneous, and it was a responsiveness that was necessary, okay? Great decision-making skills, okay? Ability to discern. Wait a minute. Something's not right here. And trusting that thing. Using your instincts to trust what you know to be true. Reproductive desire, a nurturer instinct. Those are all letting you know that you are aligned with your instincts. Now, how do you know when in fact your instincts is out of order? You know that because indecisiveness. You can't really make a decision. You're not, because you're confused. You're not really sure, right? Insecurity. You'll feel a sense of not feeling yourself, and you're not, you're insecure. And it's not just in love and in relationships or friendships, but this is in business. This is in yourself about how you feel about yourself. Those things, can't trust those around you. I'm I'm naturally a energy kind of feeling person, and I really trust my gut. So if I like you, I could like really like you. But if my instinct says stay away, I am going to stay away. I can deny that emotion that wants me to be there because I know that my instincts never lie. My instincts are on point. My intuition is on point. I trust my womanly self, okay? So, but you can't trust those around you or oblivious. Naive. I remember growing up, my mom used to say, don't be so naive. You're so naive. Trusting everybody. Don't be so naive. But as I grew up and grew older, I realized that there's a little bit of naivety that is quite that innocence that is that allows you to be able to trust your instincts. When the more you trust your instincts, the more you know that there's certain people that you can be a little off guard with. I don't know if that makes sense, but we're gonna continue on. Manifesting the life that you desire, or trouble manifesting the life that you desire, or chaos. Now, let me pause right there for a minute. Trouble manifesting the life you want, chaos. Now, please understand that any one of these moments that you're in, it's still a moment of life and living. None of us can escape that life is going to be hard. I mean, we're all going to experience some troubles, but what's going to get us through those times is trusting our instincts and knowing that, hey, this is where I am. Let me get back on course. So if you have chaos in your life right now, you're experiencing trouble, please let me tell you firsthand, none of us can escape trouble. None of us can escape what life has for us. But what we all can do is when we fall, we all can get back up. Okay? Yes, I say all. Even those who feel like they can't. I believe that at some point, there is a inner man. There's an inner man that if he is awakened, that inner man can pull you up by your bootstrap and say, snap out of this. We got work to do. No matter how hard it gets, you better get back up. No matter how empty you feel, get back up. No matter if you have 2 cents in your pocket right now, get back up. If your account says negative 625, get back up, because life is going to happen to the best of us. I don't care how much money you have, how rich you are, how secure you are. At one point in your life, you're going to feel insecure. At one point in your life, you're going to feel unstable. It is life, it's living, it's those who get back up. Those who get back up, they get the prize. Now, the last one is sensuality. That's a part of the 4 winds of femininity, okay? That happy, empathetic, compassionate, listens, okay? Sensitive, pleasurable, provides pleasure-seeking, sexual confidence and fearlessness, okay? Sensuality, that part of femininity, requires you to be able to tap into that softer side of you. It says some of us are hardwired to respond to circumstances in a way that largely exposes our psychological thought patterns and mental constructs, while others are predisposed to reacting to circumstances psychologically simply because of the way it feels. It feels like this. Remember what I said? Is that I could really, really like you, but if my instincts say stay away, for however long my instincts say stay away, I'm going to stay away no matter how I feel about you. If my instinct says no, I am trusting my instincts. Yes, I am. Okay? I can go to bed feeling sad, but guess what? I'm trusting my instincts. Okay? I'm trusting my intuition. I know myself. I trust myself and know enough to know that my inner spirit, my higher self, will let me know when something is not good, no matter how I feel about it. Okay? So it says, regardless of how hardwired we are, or how we respond, we have the power to change our behaviors. It will take some work, but it can be done. The 4 winds of femininity is the roadmap to developing true feminine power. And if you haven't figured it out just yet by looking at the diagrams, there's diagrams in the book, of course, right? True feminine power resides in the unseen. Remember what I said last video? That it's not about what you see on the outside that makes me feminine, but it's the stuff that I come from behind. You know, it's that Bismillah Rahman Rahim. It's all of that preceding me, all the stuff I come with and all the stuff that I am, all of those things, you know, being able to be diplomatic in circumstances, using my intuition, trusting my instincts, being sensual at moments. That is what true femininity is, okay? It's not something you buy at the store. It's not something you put on. It's something that comes from you. Well, guys, that is the end of today's video. Listen, I don't even think my hair can take anymore. I am growing a mini afro right before your eyes. I straightened my hair for almost 2 hours, and as you can see, it loves its natural state and it is reverting back. So I'm going to end the video here. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I don't know if you guys can see this, but it kind of tripped me out. My dress has like this sheer, it has sheer parts with a maxi coat, but the flame from that, I didn't know what was going on. Still a missing part of my arm, but it's the candle. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Listen, I love each and every last one of you. Thank you guys who share. Thank you guys who are down for the cause and riding with me. I appreciate every last one of you. I have another upload coming in the next 24 hours. It's going to be a banger. I'm giving you 2 back to back because I think we need it. This next one's going to be about sexual energy and why men die during sex, darling. You don't want to miss that one. Now, share this one if you felt it, if you vibe with it. Comment in the comments so that I can talk to you and we can talk back. And then I will see you guys next time. Until you and I connect again in cyberspace, I want you to be empowered, be inspired, and be well. Don't forget to make love. Until next time, bye, tribe.